place. And in fact, I don't believe, just in the last week of time, the people we've talked to, I don't think there was an actual tap of Trump Tower.
That is Devin Nunes, the Republican, discussing earlier the fact that he's not sure, hasn't seen any evidence of the president's claims that Trump Tower was being monitored. I still argue it's a game of semantics. We're joined right now by Allyn Root, author, commentator, world traveler. Wayne, how are you?
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you giving us a little bit of time today. I wanted to talk to you about this Russian scandal. I love the article you wrote about it the other day.
Well, there's actually two scandals that intersect because, of course, the big news of the day is Donald Trump's taxes.
Right.
And they both intersect perfectly because the whole, idea of was he tapped or not ties into me saying, where was the media when I announced to the world that Barack Obama had used the IRS to come after me, and that all my lawyers who have been in this game their whole lives, tax attorneys, the best in the world, all said you're on the president's enemies list. We've never seen anything like this. And then when Judicial Watch took my case after I'd won twice, Judicial Watch took my case, the number one government watchdog in the country, and demanded my files from the IRS, and the IRS by law had 30 days to respond, and they fought us for 14 months. And then when they finally handed it over after a 14-month battle, everything written in the margins of my tax returns and in my tax files proved beyond the shadow of a doubt that I was persecuted for my political beliefs, for my conservative political beliefs, for my Fox News appearances, for my conservative talk radio career. And where was the media then? And how does that not indicate that Barack Obama would absolutely wiretap someone? What more do you need to prove that he used the power of government to destroy people's lives? How would you doubt that he wiretapped someone when you hear that Wayne Root, who's not Donald Trump, I'm not a president of the United States, I wasn't a candidate for president, the fact that he would use the power of the IRS to try and destroy my life over a 3-year period tells you that you should not doubt anything that anyone, forget about Donald Trump, that anyone tells you about Obama using the power of government illegally or wrongly or immorally to go after people.
Oh, sure.
So it's interesting that now the IRS leaks Donald's tax returns. It shows you again what a criminal, out-of-control organization, agency the IRS is. And why aren't heads rolling? Why aren't tons of people being fired? Why aren't they being prosecuted? Why aren't they having their pensions taken away? You can't leak confidential tax returns. So it all ties together the illegality of government employees and what's going on in our country. Washington, D.C. is against Donald Trump. And all the federal employees who know they might have their jobs cut or their salaries cut or their pensions cut just a little bit by Donald Trump are up in arms, and they're the ones leaking the conversations about Russia. They're the ones leaking the tax returns. You've got a coup going on in the United States of America today.
Devin Nunes said earlier that one reason he's so anxious for this investigation, he wants to get to the bottom of the General Flynn leaks and some other leaks. So hopefully something's going to come out of this that they're not going to like, I believe.
Yeah, and don't forget the contention of my article that you're talking about that specifically was the reason for this interview. I said there should be a Russian investigation about influence peddling. It's not Donald Trump's people. It's Hillary's people that were involved in influence peddling to Russia. Go find the photographs. First of all, the idea that because you met with the Russian ambassador like Jeff Sessions did as a U.S. Senator, well, so did Nancy Pelosi, so did every leading Democratic senator. You look at photos, there are photos of all Hillary's key people with Russia's key people. It's the same thing, and yet they're bringing it up only on one side because a Republican did it. But number two, if it's a crime to want to meet with the ambassador of Russia, what would you call it if you take $145 million from top Russian executives and then turn around as Secretary of State and have the State Department decide to give away 1/5 of all the uranium stock of the United States to those same executives who gave your Clinton Foundation $145 million? I would say that's treason. I would say that's a hanging offense. I would say you go to jail for the rest of your life or you get the death penalty for making a decision like that and selling out the American people while Secretary of State. So if you want to investigate Russia, go investigate them, but it's Hillary that should be the brunt of the investigation.
Has that ever been investigated? Has anybody ever looked into that?
Well, I I can't swear whether it was or it wasn't because I'm not a member of Mark. I'm not a member of the government. I'm not a DOJ member. I'm not a U.S. attorney. I don't know. Maybe someone investigated. Maybe they didn't. I would doubt under the Obama administration that anybody ever investigated anything involving a Democrat in any position of authority. Would be my guess.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, I'll direct people to your website, rootforamerica.com. You can read this article that Wayne wrote on this about the Russian scandal and Hillary's involvement in it as well. Wayne, I know you've got a meeting you're involved in. I'll let you go, but I appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you. God bless. Thanks, Mark.
You have a great day. Thank you. Wayne Allyn Root joining us there, I'm assuming, from his home out in beautiful Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. Can I just tell you that? So much. Oh,